who was one of the co-discoverers of the mechanisms for controlling brain activity with light. Now you can use lasers to control neural activity. So far, that work has been done mainly through implanted optical fibers in animals, but now the methods have been advanced to the point where they can now work to at least a certain degree non-invasively with light sources that would be outside the skull, and we're anticipating human applications of this technology very soon. It's based on putting genetic material into neurons that's derived from algae, actually, and then, as I said, through fiber optics in the brains of animals, and now increasingly non-invasive methods with light sources outside the brain, we can target neurons with different wavelengths of light, and ultimately may be able to play neural activity the way that people play the keyboard on the piano, as a therapeutic intervention. There's also been huge advances in the ability to edit the genome. This is the genetic material that results in the embryos and then the children, both in animals and people. And since many of the brain disorders that we study have a genetic basis, at least a genetic vulnerability, being able to change the genome is a potential therapy as well as a tremendous research tool. I have a short video that I'll play now that will tell you more about this revolutionary technology for, oops, the genome editor. Let's try this again. There you go.
Every cell
Sure.
We put the sound later in post on the video. You can turn off.
How can I get rid of? I can get rid of the sound.
You can turn the sound to minimum.
Oh, okay.
On the laptop. So you can send me this video later. I will put the sound back.
Are people watching this now?
Yeah, there's. Yeah.
Do they hear this?
Yep.
They hear this.
They hear your talk, but this very small.
They hear about when there's not so good signal, they immediately see me, but not so good signal. That many people are watching it. Okay. They watch it.
So I hope that video gives you some idea of the tremendous power of genome editing, both as a research tool and as potential new therapy that, again, is really revolutionizing biology and medicine. And then just the last example I'll use is all the way at the other end of the continuum in our research to trying to understand cognition, memory, and attention in human subjects, and then applying that to understanding what's going wrong in the brains of people with autism, for example. And one of the leading researchers in that area is a faculty member here, Nancy Kenwisher, who studies people using magnetic resonance imaging, where again she can image not only the structure but also the function of the brain, and she can map out these activity patterns and also the connectivity across all these different neural populations that are talking with each other as they produce complex behavior in humans, and then again applied to understanding how this affects people with brain disorders. So we here at the McGovern Institute have become very, very hopeful about the next several years and the ability to really make an impact in the treatment of brain disorders in the not too distant future. So thank you very much, and I'm very glad to be hosting this meeting here today, and I hope everyone learns a great deal about the cybersecurity and this effort to create a clean and pure internet.
Your institute have many beautiful pictures. I think not only science, but a very beautiful art picture. So could you introduce and review post on our festival, on our festival for a clean and pure internet to support for this idea?
Great.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Robert, for your talk and video. Certainly encouraging that as our population ages, we see more and more people not only having cognitive problems with issues like dementia and Alzheimer's, but also many emotional and psychological issues that go with aging. So very encouraging to see that Robert and the McGovern Institute is making so much progress on the human brain. I'd now like to introduce an activist, an artist, and a photographer, Mario Masilawu. I hope I did that justice, who has come to us today from Mozambique to participate in Global Cybersecurity Day. And in particular, one of the, in addition to having a book coming out of his beautiful photographs, what Mario also is doing is using art to help children of very poor means, children who are living out on the street, improve not only their lives, but also their moral development. So without further ado, I'd like to ask Mario to say a few words. Mario, and Masilawu, and I hope I've done your name proud.
Yes. Well, first of all, I would like to say thank you so much and congratulations for this event, the Security for Poor Internet, that was organized by the Global Forum. And thanks a lot to Prime Minister Wellington Don, I don't know if the name is correctly, and Shizu Abe and Chancellor Angela Merkel, who are honored by Boston Global Forum. So first of all, I would like just to give like a short introduction about myself. So as said, I'm Mario Masilawu, and I'm from Mozambique. Mozambique is in the south of Africa, and so I started photography 15 years ago. I think it was about 15. I was also 15 years. So when I started photography, it was not like for me. It was not like a kind of serious decision. It was just like something that fascinated me how that a camera can document or can be used as a tool for, as a to register with to use how to use a camera as a witness for different moments and different events, different situations like social injustice and the disrespect of the human rights. So, but when I started photography, I didn't know all about this. I was just fascinated about how the image can have that much power to witness those moments, and at the same time to influence for a positive change in the world we are living in. So I started photography 15 years ago, and then I specialized myself in um, personal long-term project focusing on living and working condition in Mozambique, and also children's rights, as I said. So I think for these events, like when I was invited, I didn't know exactly what to talk about, but at the same time, it's because it's really interesting. It's really interesting event. First, because I think for me is the first time to hear about a similar event. Like the world is changing too much. We have so many problems that we don't know if they will be solved or not. And these problems are not coming from just one problem. They're coming from several problems that humans lost already the capacity to control it. And one of the problems that we have today, it's of course the internet, and the reason is the internet is because how humans lost their parts in the way to walk into life, because internet came to make everything very easy. So just to give a very simple example, when I was thinking about it, we all know that in the world we have about 7.5 billion world population, and about 350,000 people are dying per day, and 150,000 people, 150,000 people are born are dying per day, and 350,000 people are born per day, and about 1.5 or to 2 are active today on Facebook. So for me, it was very interesting on how it was very interesting to talk about this, as I said, because I've never seen like a similar event. I've never seen humans being concerned to this fact of consumerism. Because what are we doing today? We just buying computer, we updating our internet, we buying iPhone, we buy iPads, and we don't think about the consequence. And one of the consequences, as I said before, is the fact that like what is interesting point for me, it's for example the introduction of social media that most of people they're using today, most like young people. But if you are going to a point where about 150,000 people per day are dying, and about 1.5 or to 2 million are active on Facebook, that's meaning that in about 10 years from now, or even today, we don't have a kind of well-planned system that can control who's alive that is using Facebook, and who are the new people who are using it. So what I'm trying to say is that I'm active on Facebook, and then I mean, like what we know is that we all one day gonna die. But what happened now is that for this number of people that are passing, the account on Facebook, there's no control. It's like they're dying and the account is still there, So it's it's a very complicated situation, and at the same time, like for me, what is more interesting, it's about how that the world has been developing, and looking at my own reality, like where I come from. So I come from Mozambique, as I say, and in Mozambique we still have a very huge problem that it's more related to education, which Mozambique is a new country. We got the independence on 1975, and then we had a civil war until 1994. So imagine how that the education can reach the majority of population. So meaning that if we talk about the internet and about the access to information, which of course internet is very important because it helps to expand the information very fast and to solve so many problems that we have. But at the same time, it's like while we're developing those resources, sometimes we don't even think about how people can have the capacity to explore those things, for example, you know. So and then one of my my roles as a photographer is trying to bring voice of these socially isolated groups in Mozambique through my work and for positive changes. So I don't know if you're showing the work. So
you want to show all the pictures?
Yeah, you can show all the pictures. So I think it's important because so it's important so people they can understand what we're talking about.
Okay.
Like which is the same thing. I think like we are in a period where we at the same time should do something like we're already doing, but by this festival, which is very important because it's somehow it helps to bring also this information, because even if the technology developed a lot, we need to adopt a strategy that we can take this information to people who don't have the capacity to use the internet, and at the same time how that we can explain to these people what is internet, because some people they also don't know what is the internet. So then meaning that so there's still a lot of things that will have to be done. And for example, like about this projects about school children, and also this is also one of the power of the internet, because now we're sharing this work with so many people who have a family, who have a children, but in different kind of situation that maybe they have never seen this kind of situation, and that's why photography also it's important to as a tool for this positive change and to share different realities. It's not about what is better than another situation, but it's about difference that we all have. And I think it's a time also that we need to share these things just to make sure that if tomorrow I go to China, I go to India, or someone from India or China come to Mozambique, he won't be shocked about these realities. He won't be shocked. And most of the time it can even be cultural. Thank you so much again.
Thank you, Mario. That's absolutely compelling, and I know before the meeting today we had a chance to look at your photos, and they're captivating the first time, and they just make me want to buy the book and look it over and spend some time with each photo. I think it really captured a great sense, and with the internet, and we. In most places, we think of having the internet almost like being able to read, and I think with the expansion of the internet, some of your messages and some of the goals that you're trying to achieve will be much easier to accomplish. I'd now like to introduce you to one of the key components of Boston Global Forum, Dr. Elliot Salloway, who has volunteered to be our Chief Operating Officer and has put probably more time in Boston Global Forum than maybe less time than Tuan, who is energetic and has boundless energy and enthusiasm. But I'd say Dr. Salloway is a close second. Elliot has really synthesized his interest in art, Asia, and the internet to develop art programs, develop interest in art programs that are aimed at a couple of things. Certainly fostering creativity is a major goal of the arts, but also his goals are to increase awareness, use art to increase awareness of terrorism, the consequences thereof, and also the consequences of genocide, which rears its ugly head around the world from time to time. And without any further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Soloway. If you could.
Thank you very much, Dick. That was a wonderful introduction. I think you stole everything I had to say.
Oh, I couldn't possibly.
My name is Elliot Soloway. I'm privileged to be Chief Operating
Do you want
Officer
to look up here?
of the Global Forum, but my most enjoyable job is one that was created actually by Tuan and I 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, called Director of Cyber Art Competition. Director of Cyber Art Competition. I don't think there's another title like that anywhere, other organization that I know about. And I'm actually quite happy because I came to Boston Global Forum with a model for this type of communication. And I'm very privileged to be here with Mario, who this coincidentally is doing this on the combat frontline level, which I am extremely impressed about. And we're going to be talking a lot in the future. But let me just give you 3 or 4 minutes of the history of how we got to this title. I founded an organization called Exodus 4.5 years ago, centered in Berlin, with a wonderful artist, a young man about 48, and that's a young man to me, who I met and bought some art, and we started discussing the fact that he had 2 grandfathers. One was a SS officer, and one was a communist, and the communist was a much worse person than the SS officer. So we started talking about human nature. We started talking about the 2 sides of evil and how to communicate this, particularly with children. So we developed a program that's now very active, working with teenagers and young people in Eastern Europe, in Latvia with the Rothko family, who are sponsoring some of this, in Rome. And that model has been very successful. However, it only reaches the 100 people, the 200 people that come for the gallery show and some of the press coverage. So when I came to Tuan about almost 2 years ago, we talked about the idea of using the internet to communicate with art these issues. Now, art has a long history, back to cave walls of communication, through propaganda, through religious art, advertising, right down to today. It is a very effective mechanism, as Mario had pointed out, for showing an idea, an awareness. Now, prevention of crimes against humanity was our objective in the last 4 years in Europe, and now I'm privileged to be able to have this method of working with increasing awareness of the dangers of cyber terrorism, particularly with young people, because we're interested. The young generations give us a chance to change things over the next 100 years, particularly with an idea that we've come up with, which is using modules with art teachers all over the world. And those modules, each one can geometrically increase these ideas by thousands. So my idea now in working with Boston Global Forum is to be starting with this call for art that we just put out yesterday. And the deadline is not too far away. It's 1 a.m. On the 1st of January 2016. But we're already getting a tremendous amount of interest, people contributing images that talk about the ways. Now, art can only ask a question, cannot answer a question. But in asking the question, it increases awareness. Tuan loves music, he loves art, and so we're able to put this together and reach a population that we might not reach. So thank you very much for the good introduction. And Tuan, thank you very much for allowing me to have this fun.
You talk about your peace review. Now, Elliot, you will follow and you will post some your piece, yeah, on your work.
Oh, my work.
Yeah,
You're gonna post it.
yeah. You can introduce your work. You will post for online festival. After him have just introduced. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. After Mario have just introduced, and now you can introduce.
Oh, okay. Well, my work uses photography and every other medium. It means caustics, which is hot wax, which is an ancient approach, to oil, to watercolor. The idea is I can't draw, but I can give a message with my eye by using these media and combining them, making montages, making collages, and working with children, giving them little inexpensive cameras that they can take pictures of each other and have this interplay where they learn things like empathy. Now, I never thought empathy could be taught until I learned from our wonderful guest, the former president of Latvia, who's a professor of psycholinguistics, that it can be taught. And I researched it. And if you approach youngsters under 8 years old, you can actually have a chance at teaching empathy. So that's what my work is. Its objective is to increase the level of empathy worldwide. And I can give examples of it if we can, online later on. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, that means today, Governor Michael Dukakis have e-card and post first. After that, picture of McGovern Institute was presented by Professor Bob Desimone, and third, that is Mario Marcelo series picture and works of him, wonderful, and with Elliot Soloway. So that means today we start, and I think very high energy and great spirit to start for online festival of clean and pure internet or global cybersecurity. Wonderful. Thank you so much for all coming here, and thank you so much for all speakers. Thank you so much for McGovern Institute Branch Research Science. Wonderful institute and wonderful contribution, and we are very honored to be here, and McGovern Institute host this event and support and sponsor for this event and start for wonderful global cybersecurity day. We hope and we wish cybersecurity for every day in the year. Okay. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wonderful. That's good. We start.